to private school was one of the worst things that ever happened to me. Now I know, what doesn't kill you is supposed to make you stronger, but I can't think of a single good thing that came from my going to private school. I'm not even sure why I had to go. I grew up a Navy brat, and by the time I was in 8th grade, we'd already moved 6 times. Now, we were stationed in Charleston, and after 2 years, my dad actually got a second tour there. We were looking at spending 4 years in a row in the same place. I was so excited. We stayed in the same house, which was great, but I think my parents were worried about me getting too comfortable because they pulled me out of public school where I had friends and transferred me to private school where I knew absolutely no one. Now, Porter Gaud Episcopal School had been an all-boys school since the beginning of time. In the early 70s, they started admitting girls. So when I showed up in 8th grade, the 14 girls who were there had been together since kindergarten. And they weren't really interested in letting a new girl into their club. Now, these girls were like girls I had never seen before. They had names like Anastasia, Marie Claire, and Cece. They had smooth hair, designer clothes, and added bead necklaces. They wore makeup, and their mothers dropped them off at school in convertible Saabs and BMWs. And these girls had breasts, big ones. From what I had seen in the locker room, I was fairly certain Paige Smith could have folded hers right in half if she'd wanted to. I did not show up as a welcome addition to their world. My favorite accessory was this blue pleather purse that I had found at Kmart, and I rode the bus to school. I wasn't even allowed to wear makeup, although sometimes I did. My parents drove it was a Ford Pinto and a Chevy Blazer. And on that makeup that I wasn't allowed to wear, I had secretly bought myself the CoverGirl Kiss of Spring 4-color eyeshadow collection. And when I got to school early, I'd sneak downstairs and hide in the dimly lit bathroom and smear stripes of pink and blue and green on my eyelids. Easy, breezy, beautiful, right? I think not. Like I said, my dad was in the Navy. He was a captain, and that made my mother an officer's wife. They threw fabulous parties. Huge backyard barbecues for the entire neighborhood, elegant cocktail receptions, glamorous dinner parties. Everybody loved my parents' parties. And I just knew if I could throw a party like that, those girls at Porter Gaud were going to love me too. It's coming up on my 13th birthday that November, and I saw this milestone as an opportunity to show those girls how cool I really was. I planned the whole thing out. I figured we'd start with dinner at Showbiz Pizza Place, and then adjourn to my house for a sleepover. The room over the garage was going to be just perfect. We'd listen to 45s, we'd braid each other's hair, we'd tell ghost stories. I mean, I'd been reading 17 magazine long enough to know how to host a sleepover. The first week of November, I started decorating. I got pink and purple crepe paper streamers and twisted them together, hung them from every corner of the room. I put up happy birthday posters, and I lined up the turntable with Rick Springfield, Men at Work, and Survivor. Now, my birthday wasn't until the 24th of November, so I had to hold off on actually blowing up the balloons or putting out the little bowls of Chex Mix, but this was going to be the party to end all parties. Now, I didn't really think that I was going to become the most popular girl in school because of this party. I just wanted to get off the hazing hot list, because I was tired of people putting chewed wads of gum in my purse. I was tired of kids stealing my shoes and throwing them out the window. And I was tired of having to hide out in the art studio during lunch and study hall. I didn't aspire to be popular. I just wanted to eat lunch in the cafeteria like a normal person, without somebody squirting ketchup in my hair. It didn't surprise me when the first few girls called to say that they couldn't come to my party. I mean, my birthday is right the same time as Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of people go out of town. You know, over the river, through the woods. I knew I was going to lose some people to the Thanksgiving holiday. The week of my birthday, the RSVPs were still trickling in. Anastasia said yes for dinner, but no to the sleepover, and the same with Leslie. And then Paige called, and she too said yes for pizza, but no for the slumber party. I was down to just 5 girls for pizza, and only Maria for the sleepover when the phone rang. Hello, Howe residence, this is Jennifer speaking. Yeah, this is Maria. What time are we supposed to be at Showbiz? Oh, hi Maria. Yeah, okay, 5 o'clock for the pizza, and then it's back to my house for the sleepover. And I am so glad you're coming, because everybody else is kind of copped out, so it'll just be you and me spending the night. Seriously? Oh no, I don't think so. If nobody else is going to your house, I'm not going to either. Just I'll be there for the pizza and that's it. Now, in tandem with teaching me how to make scallion flowers and coordinate cocktail napkins to match my dress, my mother, the officer's wife, taught me how to be a gracious hostess. I was there at Showbiz Pizza Place at 5 o'clock on the dot. Those girls arrived, and I smiled. We ate pizza, we played skee-ball, and I smiled. We watched those creepy mechanical bears sing, you know how they do? Happy birthday, dear Jennifer. Happy birthday to you. They are so creepy. There was cake. So I blew out the candles and smiled. I thanked them all for coming and smiled. The girls trooped out of the restaurant, climbed into their parents' luxury vehicles, and drove away. When I got home, I went up to the playroom and I looked around for a few minutes before I tore the place apart. I ripped those posters down off the wall, I yanked down the streamers and shredded them, and then mashed the pieces into sweaty wads of pink and purple. I dumped the Chex Mix on the floor, I opened the sofa cushions, I kicked over the chairs, I smashed the 45s, and then I popped the balloons with shards of Jesse's Girl and Eye of the Tiger. Eventually, there was nothing left to undo. I just sat on the floor in the middle of the playroom with cuts on my hands and bruises on my shins. It was a full 25 years before I tried to throw myself a birthday party again. Happy birthday to me.